Hey, what's going on, guys? Godstatus here. So today, this has been requested a lot, and I did a video on this in the past, but it's kind of been a while, so thought we might as well just do another one. But the vector has been asked for a lot, and I don't even have like one specific comment to show. If you go to like any of my videos lately, it seems like it's requested on literally every single one of them. But we haven't done this in a while, and I kind of want to see how we can do with it. We got rig. I was hoping for like warehouse or metro, but rig will also work. I'm also trying to change up the maps that I'm playing on a little bit, so rig does help in that sense. So I really can't complain much about it. But we haven't used the vector much really at all lately, mostly because I've been focused on only the G36 and the Scout, so I'm not really too used to this gun anymore. Now, it's not really hard to get used to because it is a really accurate gun and it does quite a bit of damage, but as always, any gun takes a little bit of getting used to if you haven't used it in a long time, especially this gun at a little bit of a distance. It does get a tad bit shaky. Now, of course, there are guns with a lot more recoil than just the vector, but it does get a little bit shaky, and as always with every gun, takes some time getting used to. You have to get used to recoil again, get used to how fast you're running out of ammo, things like that. It's kind of the same process with everything, so it's gonna take me a few to really get warmed up to this, so I may struggle a bit in the beginning, especially with kind of keeping track of my ammo, but I'm not sure it'll be too much of an issue. Or at least I hope it won't be. There's so many people here. Oh god. Bro, why are they all just laying in corners? And of course, Val kills me. But yeah, the vector is, like I've said before in other videos and whatnot, the second strongest CQC gun, aside from the M231. Still, it's just kind of weird to me because, like, you think SMG, you think CQC, and then, like, the M231 being an AR, and then just destroying in CQC. It's just kind of funny. It's definitely one of, like, the better guns out there, and like I said, the recoil isn't too bad, and it really isn't hard to get used to. It just takes, like, a little bit of time during your first match or two to go ahead and get the feel for it. So we shouldn't be doing too bad, and it is kind of a higher unlock level. I think it's, like, 60 something maybe. I really don't know off the top of my head, but buying this gun is something that I would recommend, and I don't really recommend buying many guns in all honesty. Like, people DM me all the time, should I buy this gun, should I buy this? And really the only guns I would ever recommend buying are like the Vector, the Scout, and the Mosin, and maybe the Scar Hammer if you really like LMGs. But other than that, I really don't think it's worth buying any other guns, and it's kind of like, I don't know, some people are asking me if they should buy some really bad guns, and it makes me realize how little people really do know about like guns as a whole in this game. Obviously, you could buy guns to have fun with them, but at the same time, is this lobby? But obviously you can find guns just to buy them and have fun with them. But if you're going to buy a gun to improve with and something that is going to be a really good gun, some people have asked me like, oh, should I buy like, and I feel like I'm gonna offend someone with this, but like the AUG A3 Para or like the RPKs and things like that. And some people have even asked like, oh, should I buy like certain pistols and stuff, and I really don't get the point of it because I don't recommend it at all. The only time I think buying a gun is worth it if you're buying a gun that can just improve your gameplay overall and not something really for fun. But that's just how I see it. Everyone's different, and obviously you can buy guns for fun if you want to. I don't like think down upon it, or like look down upon it, excuse me, but I definitely don't do that myself. What I'm trying to do here is kind of slowly educate people on guns that are actually worth buying rather than guns that people just buy for fun, because a lot of guns out there really aren't even worth using unless you're doing it simply for the fun of it. If your goal is to get better at the game, and if your goal is to do better in like all your matches, you definitely need to use not certain guns, and you don't definitely need to use it, I shouldn't say that, but there are a lot of guns that fit that description a lot better than most. And like when you're picking a new gun to use or something, you don't want to pick something that puts yourself at an extreme disadvantage like some of the guns do. And there's some guns that just aren't really worth using in my opinion. And you guys got to remember, I play this at like a competitive standpoint where I'm always trying to do good, or at least, you know, do better than the next person. But there's a lot of guns in this game that don't really compete, and sad as that is, hopefully it could change over time, but it's hard to balance guns, and I know that, and you can see this with like any FPS game of all time. Unless they make stats like the exact same minus like some recoil, it's really hard to make all the guns compete with each other, and it's really hard to keep that up over what, PF's 100 plus guns maybe, or however many guns I have. I don't think it's 100, but it's probably like 50-ish or so. And keeping that like balance up amongst all those is really hard, so I don't expect too much there. It's mostly that I would like to see all guns become at least usable, because if you're looking at like a competitive standpoint, or just anyone trying to play simply for the purpose of being good, there's just a lot of guns you really don't use. I mean, a lot of them don't have a purpose. They don't have their own thing. Like the Vector, the M231 are like your best CQC choices. The AK-103, G36, M16A4, like AKM, the battle rifles, etc. are all really good for like your medium to long range. And obviously you have snipers that are good for your like overall just long range only. And they kind of all have their purpose in a game, whereas certain guns just don't. they don't really fit any criteria, and they're more of like, hey, you could use this, or you could just use this gun because it actively, or not it actively, excuse me, you could just use this gun because it's a little bit different and just kind of mixes up your gameplay. Because I know it is possible very easily to get bored of a certain gun, or get bored of a certain set of guns, and you guys probably won't believe that because of the amount of G36 kills I have, but I do understand it. You can get bored of certain guns, and you want to find something new, but finding something new and finding something that's still worth using is where the issue comes into play. Because I don't know, there's just a lot of guns in this game that I don't use, and it's not because they're terrible, it's just there's better options, and I would always rather use the better options rather than something just because it's like out of my normal. So that's just me. The Vector and whatnot is definitely something that is going to help improve your gameplay, and even if you aren't that great of the player, the Vector really is just an overall really strong gun, to the point where it's kind of hard to beat in most scenarios, especially CQC. And in public matches, you won't see the Vector that much, especially if you get into a game with like lower ranked people. You're not going to see the Vector at all. And in all honesty, I truthfully, now that I think about it, really don't see the Vector more than like every few games, if that. And it's usually someone who isn't even that good using it, so it's just someone who bought it because someone told them to buy it, and it isn't that hard for you to compete with. And like I said, if you are actively trying to improve at the game, you will, and when you're actively trying to improve, you will become better than the next guy, and you will be able to beat out those random people who just buy guns just to buy them. Obviously, buying a gun does not automatically make you better at the game, and it will not automatically make you just do better overall, but it does push you in the right direction, and it gives you the tools and kind of the starting points of how you can get better at certain things. And the Vector is definitely one of those things that helps you get better at CQC gunfights. As a lot of people don't know, like, there's a lot of ARs and stuff in this game that don't work that well CQC. Like the G36, which is my favorite gun, it does 4-shot to the body at close range. And if you think about that, is it really worth it in CQC? You know what I mean? Like, using the G36 on like Metro and stuff isn't as worth it as people would think, just because in those close quarters where Metro is basically 90% CQC, you don't do as much damage as these other guns, where the Vector can basically 2-3 shot at close range. With headshots, I should add in. With headshots, it could 2 to 3 shot. There really isn't much competing with that other than the M231. So you want to find those guns that overall are top of their class, and kind of learn how to use them, because those will help you out overall, and those will help you get to a point where you can do better. And it's not going to instantly make you better at the game, but like I said, it gives you the push in the right direction to learn how to get better at certain things. And taking everything one step at a time is what you got to do. If you try to rush and learn everything at once, it'll take you a lot longer, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. But if you want to get better at like kind of close quarters fighting, buying the Vector, yeah, I definitely think it's a good idea. I wouldn't say no to it. You also need to go into it with an open mind, and not the idea that it's instantly going to make you some player that you weren't like yesterday. It's not instantly going to make you a #1 player. It's not going to make you something insane. It's simply a tool to help you, and obviously a tool can only do so much for you. It gives you the starting point, and you have to work for the rest of it. But we are going 73-9. Our actually isn't too bad. The game did die down quite a bit from the start, where a lot of people started leaving and things like that, which happens all the time, and it makes me so sad. I can't even begin to explain the amount of like 100+ kill games I could have, or even like 150+ kill games I would have if I had like constantly active lobbies where everyone didn't leave within like the first minute or two. It sucks, it really does. But oh well, there's not much I can do about it. Let's get a nade up there, because Raw's just sitting up there. Maybe he moved, I don't know. Yeah, there's Raw. All right, no, leave me alone. Are we good? I don't know, like I'm 1 shot away from death. If someone like blows air on me, I die. Kill Raw before anyone else. Gotta target prioritize there. We are kind of playing a bit aggressive, as you should be with a CQC gun, but we're not playing as smart as I should be, in the sense that I'm kind of pushing a lot of things when I really shouldn't be, and I'm taking really open angles and gunfights, and that's going to get you killed a lot. I'm peeking things that I really shouldn't, like, to kill this guy, well, where is he? Okay, this is a bad example. You don't want to expose yourself to more than, like, one area at once, because if you expose yourself to, like, half a map while you're shooting at one person, obviously the chances of you dying are, holy I don't want to talk about that. But if you expose yourself to a lot of the map at once, you're going to die a lot easier. Like, let's say there was a guy at that corner right there. If I come around the corner and I peek like this is perfect because it's just him there. But if I come around the corner like this and expose myself to all this, that's a terrible idea. That's how you're gonna die very easily, and it's kind of hard to avoid dying at all at that point, because if you have 5 people shooting at you, what are you really gonna do? And depending on the gun you have, you're gonna run out of ammo or just die instantly, blah blah blah. A lot can happen that you don't want to happen. So peeking angles tight, like peeking a tight angle is always the best way you can go. There's something I see a lot, and I might actually make like a video just discussing this, because I see it all the time where people are just doing super wide angles when they're peeking, and that's why they're dying, because they just open themselves up to so much at once. And that's not the way you want to do things at all. And if I can see an example of it before I go ahead and, or excuse me, before this match goes ahead and ends, if I see an example, I'll make sure to point it out. I'm sure you guys can understand to an extent what I'm saying. So like, even like this, let's say there's a guy right there, for an example, and you know he's there. If you peek like this, only he can see you, right? There and like over here. But some people will run all the way out here to shoot him. And that opens them up to this entire part of the map and behind them. And that's just asking to die at that point. Like, you're opening up yourself to 90% of the map, and that's just going to get you killed. And there's my sub sound, ignore that. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of things I see that people really need to work on, and this is why, like, I can never become a coach, because these things are, like, common sense to me. That, like, you shouldn't be peeking like that. And I would assume people would, like, know that, but they really don't. And it's not a bad thing if you don't know it, because we all have to learn at one point or another, but these are things, like, I would overlook, and that's why I would never, like, sit down and solo coach somebody, because I would never remember to tell them that. I would just assume that they know it, and that's all. Like, whenever it does pop up in my head, I will, like, mention tips and videos and try to help you guys improve. It's not all the time that I do remember stuff. Oh my god, raw, I ran out of ammo. That's terrible. 95 and 15, I literally just need 5 more kills to get the 100. I'm going to be kind of upset if I don't get it, I'm not going to lie. Like, this was overall pretty easy setup for a 100 kill game. Where am I getting shot at from? I don't know where I'm getting shot from. Oh no. Am I even gonna get the 100 kills? I don't think I am. This isn't good. Oh no. No, stop. I'm getting stuck on like everything. Just a few kills away. We need 2 more kills. We have 50 seconds. Alright, no, we should be good. I don't know why I was starting to stress about that, but yeah. Here we go. 1 more kill and no. Okay, he ran out of ammo. Thank you. Okay, there we go. There's 101. Oh wait, I got an assist, counts as kill, I think. Whatever, we got 100. That's all I cared about, and decent video using the vector. So that's gonna conclude the video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.